Welcome back to another episode of the Wellness Inspired Podcast, a place where you can find inspiration, motivation, and empowerment in the pursuit of a wellness lifestyle. I'm your host, Sheri Davidson. I'm a wellness coach, acupuncturist, trail runner, and former interior designer in Houston, Texas, and I am deeply passionate about health and well-being. And as always, I'm here with my co-host, Finn. And if you're new to the podcast, Finn is my terrier mix rescue dog, trail runner, and loyal companion. He is also a therapy dog and greeter at Element 5 Acupuncture and Wellness. And this is the final episode in the Design and Living Well series. And if you've been following along, thank you. We have covered a lot of ground. So what I'd like to do first is to do a quick recap of episode 1, 2, and 3 before we move forward. So in episode 1, we explored the idea that design isn't decoration. It's how life moves through a space. In episode 2, we looked at what's actually happening when a space feels easy and what's happening when it doesn't. Decision fatigue, sensory overload, flow. In episode 3, we talked about why nature belongs in our homes and why we feel better in spaces that connect us to the natural world. But before I jump in, I just want to take a quick moment to say thank you. This podcast has been growing over the year, and I know it's because of you. So you're listening, you're sharing, you're telling people about it, and it means more than you know. So if you're enjoying this series or any of the episodes, please share it with someone who you think would enjoy it too. Word of mouth is the most powerful way to help this podcast reach more people, and I am so grateful for every single one of you. Okay, let's continue. Today, in episode 4, the final episode in the series, I want to bring it all together because here's the question that sits underneath everything we've talked about. Why doesn't wellness stick? Why do we feel clear and calm in one environment and then lose that feeling the moment we return to another? Why can we sustain habits in some spaces and not in others? Why does the person we are on retreat, on vacation, or in a beautifully designed space feel so different from the person we are when we walk back through our own front door? That's what this episode is about. Not what's wrong with you, what's happening around you. Okay, are you ready? Let's do it. Most of us have had this experience. You go somewhere intentionally, a wellness retreat, a vacation, or even just a long weekend away. The environment is designed to support you. The space is calm, the schedule is slower, someone else is handling the meals, the logistics, the decisions. There's natural light, maybe a view, maybe even silence. And within a day or two, something shifts. You sleep deeper, you move more, you eat with more intention. You feel like yourself again. Maybe a version of yourself you haven't felt in a while. And you think, this is it. I'm going to keep doing this when I get home. And you mean it. But then you come home. The counters are covered. The inbox is full. The laundry didn't do itself while you were gone. The pace picks up immediately. And within a few days, sometimes a few hours, the clarity starts to fade. The habits that felt easy in that other environment feel heavy again. And most people blame themselves for that. They think they lost discipline. They think they weren't committed enough. They think the problem is them. But it's not. The problem is the environment they came home to. So here's what I want you to take away from this. You didn't change when you were away. The conditions changed. And those conditions, less friction, less noise, more space, more nature, fewer decisions, allowed you to show up differently. Not because you tried harder, because the environment made it easier. And that's what good design does. That's what a well-designed wellness space does. It removes the barrier between you and the things that support you. It makes the healthy choices the easy choices, not through discipline, but through design. And when you return to an environment that wasn't designed that way, a home full of clutter, a schedule with no margins, a sensory environment that never lets you settle, of course the habits fall apart. The conditions that supported them are gone. This isn't a motivation problem, it's a context problem. And this is why I think about our homes as integration tools, not as places we go after the wellness experience is over, but as the environment where the wellness either takes root or quietly dissolves. Integration is a word I use a lot in my work. It means something very specific to me. It's the process of taking something you've learned, felt, or experienced and weaving it into the fabric of your daily life. Not as a perfect routine, not as a rigid system, but as a rhythm that your environment supports. And that's the gap most people fall into. They come back from an experience feeling inspired, but they walk into a home that has no room for what they've learned. Not emotionally, not physically. The space doesn't reflect the shift, so the shift doesn't last. So what if, instead of asking, how do I stay disciplined, you asked, what in my environment would make this easier to sustain? Now, I also want to note here that I'm using the example of coming back from a retreat or vacation, but this applies to integrating any habit change in your life. So just keep that in mind. Okay, let's move on. So let's be specific about what chaotic environments actually do to us. We've talked about this throughout the series, but I want to pull it all together here. So a chaotic environment, it generates constant low-level decisions. I told my mom about this the other day, and she was like, oh my gosh, you are so right. She never even thought about the millions of decisions that she makes every single day. So what do I mean when I talk about making millions of low-level decisions? Well, you're constantly asking yourself, what is this? Where does it go? What do I need to deal with first? That's cognitive load, and it drains the same mental energy you need for self-care, presence, and follow-through. A chaotic environment overstimulates your nervous system. Noise, visual clutter, too much light, too many screens. They keep your body in a subtle state of alert. You can't fully rest in a space that's always asking something of you. A chaotic environment disrupts flow. You can't move easily through your space when your mornings have friction, when your evenings are spent managing instead of recovering. There's no room for the practices you want to build. And a chaotic environment cuts you off from nature. Closed blinds, artificial lights, synthetic materials, no living things in sight. Your body loses the grounding cues it needs to regulate. None of these things happen dramatically. They happen quietly. Slowly, day after day, until you look up and wonder why you feel so tired, so stuck, so far from the version of yourself you were in that other place. And the shift to a better design for living well doesn't have to be dramatic either. You don't need to renovate. You don't need to buy new furniture unless you want to. You don't need to turn your home into a wellness resort, but you do need to start seeing your home as part of the equation. If you want to sleep better, look at your bedroom. What is it asking of you? Is it designed for rest, or is it a storage room with a bed in it? If you want to move more, look at where your body meets your space. Is there room? Is your gear accessible? Or is everything buried behind something else? If you want to feel calmer, look at what your eyes land on when you walk through the door. Is it chaos? Or is there one clear surface, one living plant, one moment of visual quiet? These are small questions, but they lead to real change. And real changes in your environment lead to real changes in how you feel and what you're able to sustain. You know, I started the series with a simple idea. Nice design isn't just decoration, it's part of how we live well. And now, 4 episodes later, I hope the idea feels a little fuller. Design shapes our decisions, it shapes our energy, it shapes our relationship with nature. And it shapes whether the things we care about most, our health, our calm, our consistency, have room to take root in our daily lives. Wellness isn't just what you do, it's what your environment allows you to sustain. Now, it's not everything, but it is part of the equation. And the most powerful thing you can do for your wellness isn't add another habit. It's change the conditions around you so the habits you already care about have a chance to stick. Your environment is either working with you or against you. And now you know how to tell the difference. So that's a wrap. So I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of the series. It's been one of my favorite things I've done here on the podcast, and I hope that it's changed the way that you see spaces in your life, even if just a little. Again, if one of these episodes resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to go deeper, I'll put links to all 4 episodes in the show notes so you can listen to the full series from beginning. Okay. Nice design isn't just decoration. It's part of how we live well, and it starts right where you are. All right. Take care, and I will meet you here next time. Bye. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast and share with your family and friends. You can also give me a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcast. It helps others find me as well. To get updates on new episodes and wellness inspiration in your inbox, please join the Wellness Inspired community. Go to thewellnessinspiredpodcast.com to sign up. I'll put the link to the website in the show notes so you can click and join. Also, there's a Facebook community at The Wellness Inspired, and you can follow me on Instagram at wellness_inspired. If you're in the Houston area or just visiting and interested in our services, acupuncture, herbal medicine, cupping, zen shiatsu, or dry needling therapy, contact us. You can find out more on our website at element5om.com. That's element5om.com. And again, I'll put the link in the show notes. If you're interested in health and wellness coaching, we can connect in the clinic or on Zoom. Reach out to us and we'll get you on the schedule. And as always, I would love to hear your feedback. I am dedicated to bringing you great content that is inspiring and informative with an artsy, fun, edgy spin. Thank you so much for listening. We'll meet here again next time. And remember, never stop exploring, learning, loving, and being you. Bye.